Now it's time for Inspirational Women and my guest, Inesa Ponomariovaite, a holistic health expert who's developed the world's first full-spectrum CBDa hemp extract. Nesas Hemp is a natural remedy. Inesa joins us to share a truly amazing story. Inesa Ponomariovaite, oh, did I say that correctly? Yes. Inesa, good morning. I am so glad to welcome you to this morning's conversation about, stress, anxiety, and what we can do about it, our overall holistic good health. And what's really exciting and interesting about you is that you have, over the course of years, created your own company, Nesas Hemp. So we're going to get some insights into that. But before we do get to that, which we want to spend a lot of time on, April is National Stress Awareness Month. Why are we under so much stress? It seems to be getting more and more so, and I think for a younger age group.
Mm-hmm. No, I think, first of all, thank you so much for being on a great mission and doing an amazing work in this world, which is we do need a lot of people that can bring this light and continue to help other people thrive. So I want to say thank you for you, and thank you so much for having me here today. I think it's a really, really good question, and I really would like people to even understand or see like we have so many situations going on, like what's happening in Ukraine and Russia, which is, I grew up under Russia's Communist Party, and I know what it feels to actually to be under that pressure. And then I know I lived there. I'm living experience. So, and then people stress over the war, and people stress over inflation, and people stress over COVID. And what happens is, before we jump in solutions, I think each of us really carry the solution within us. And what you really try to say here is, it's really not what happens to you in your life. It's really how you're going to decide to look at it. So, and I'll give a super quick example. I've been through my life in very dramatic experiences. For most people, wouldn't be able to function mentally healthy if they had to go through what I had to go through. And all these experiences I choose to see as a beautiful experiences that taught me better or brought me as a stronger person or create a mission to be better in the world or help other people. So I know when it comes to financial crisis or any other situations, like, okay, we are afraid, we be scared, and that creates anxiety, creates stress. Then people look for medications. But like, okay, you have two options here. You can focus on solution or you can focus on a problem. So this world is changing, and all of us need to understand this. Let's just stop focus on the problem, and let's put all these times and efforts in focusing on solutions, because we need to come up with solutions. And the beautiful thing about this world, like, there is always a solution. So no matter how bad it is, no matter how bad it sounds, it's always a solution. So I think the right mindset, anything that happens in our lives, and immediately focus on solution would be a great thing to do. And if you can't, and for some reason it's hard to transform that mindset and to be in that position, then we have to talk what is prevention, what is the safe prevention, how we could prevent these people from getting on major medications that actually can cause I saw the latest numbers where 36% of antidepressants are causing actually suicidal, and these numbers are actually growing. So it's really sad what's happening, but at the same time, I think us people need to get in charge in our lives.
Wow, that is something, what you have said, we should put into a natural oil and consume. But that maybe I'm sounding kind of flippant with that, but it's true what you're saying about how we look at things, how we view them, and what we decide about that. And look toward the solutions, and perhaps if we know ourselves to really experience anxiety about something, don't put ourselves into the position of creating more of that anxiety. I'm thinking more specifically like listening to the news where there might be this bombardment of so much negative press. Don't listen to it so much of the time.
Absolutely. It's definitely all the mindset. And like you are in control of your own life. And, I work with people and I'm as a holistic health expert that actually saved my own mother of cancer and we never done any traditional treatments. I rejected chemotherapy and radiation because after major research I did, I didn't feel comfortable of doing it. And I took in charge of my own mother's life. And today she's happy and healthy and cancer was gone. But with that being said, if you're really going to spend time looking for solutions, you are in charge of your own life and you make that decision where you want your mind to be today. And if you know that certain things affecting you negatively, why don't you make a decision to stop these sources and say enough is enough? And again, not everybody can do it, and it takes time to really transition in that mindset because I do help people to get there, and it does not happen overnight. But in the meanwhile, when people do get anxiety, you have to make sure you use the right, safe sources that actually is going to help you to reduce that anxiety, and there doesn't have any side effects. Because if you're going to take a lot of pharmaceutical drugs, they have, I would say, even deadly side effects. They're not going to kill you immediately, but then you look, if your medication has 36% of the suicidal rate, 65% of the numbness, and you become like a zombie and you have zero feelings for the world or your own family, how this is okay? So, then you have to make a right decision, and instead, again, focusing on the problem, what is your solution? What is my safest way to go around this since I already have the stress, since I already have anxiety, and I don't want to get depressed because over time, all these issues turn into depression. So, and depression is something hard to escape unless you're super, super mentally strong, but you are not mentally strong, I guess, if you're going to get to that point. So you really have to be watching out for solutions. So I think that would be very, very important for people to, okay, what's my solution? I got anxiety, I got depression. What am I going to do about it? I'll take natural sources to overcome these things that's going to have zero side effects on me.
And so that's the direction that you took. You did the research. You were not finding the best product that was really healthy for the body, that was not going to introduce chemicals and introduce pesticides, anything negative like that. You wanted to look for a pure source.
Since I work with a lot of critical cases, including cancer, anything I do or touch needs to be above and beyond purest quality. So because these people are so compromised, so they can't afford time-wise or health-wise to take any additional toxins in their body. And since I do have quite a reputation and it really matters to me, and I have a major responsibility, whatever I represent for people needs to be like very due diligence done by me. So I really traveled actually country and the world to understand where is the best source of cannabis or CBD products, so I can say, okay, I trust this company because I did my own homework on them. So I traveled the country and I tested lab results. I did it myself. I paid for my own labs. I picked their soil. I've been in manufacturing. I've been everywhere. I tested number one marketed companies on the market. I visited each of those facilities, soil, plants. I looked what they're doing, and I was completely devastated what I saw on the market. Because what the plant has to represent has nothing to do what's on the markets today. Those are two completely different things. They have nothing to do with each other, and I just don't understand how this is not regulated yet, because it's not regulated market. So every person who just decides to make money because it's a big thing going on around cannabis and, and it's a big, I guess, bubble. So people just jump in, white label products that they never seen actually lab results. They have no idea where the plant's coming from. They're made with harmful chemicals, toxins, and nobody's checking on them because there is no way to check on them at the moment. So everybody does whatever they want. And when I saw that, I was like, wow, this is not going to work. And I was completely devastated. So I was forced to do my own understanding completely about the plant. And when I realized the plant doesn't even have a CBD in it, and it's only the CBDa, and CBDA, when you kill CBDA through harmful chemicals or the heat, it turns into the CBD. So the living plant on the soil doesn't even have the CBD in it. It happens only in the dying processes. So my question is, if your body's already dying of depression or anxiety, or I'm not saying dying directly, but like it's a slow death, right? Like all
Right.
these things eventually leading you to somewhere like 20 years from now. So how you can afford to take this dying plants or like harmful things that are in it? So yes, Nesas Hemp was born is because of what I saw on the market, and I said this is not going to serve any of the people that I work personally or anybody I know, including my own mother.
So the natural hemp, and that is the plant, right? It's hemp.
Yes, the plant is the hemp, but what's critical is since the plant itself is actually multi-purpose, one of the hemp plant purpose is to clean the soil. So a lot of farmers, the way they grow, they actually, besides spraying pesticides and like all the stuff is in it, herbicides, you name it, besides all these deadly toxins, the plant itself is actually so busy to cleaning the soil where the plant is not focusing on expressing within themselves the healing power that they have for the human. So, and most farmers or growers, they don't understand that yet. And I saw that was missing 4 or 5 years ago when I really started working on this market. And I said, okay, these people don't even understand yet, but like that's the plant's purpose. So biological soil would be number one critical thing to do because you can grow healthy plants in an unhealthy environment, and especially the plant that needs to express the highest power, which is the healing power, to serve people and their symptoms. So, yes, so biological soil and organic or certified organic, those are two different things. But we are certified organic, but what else we did, we actually are creating entire movement on, it's called Beyond Organic. So I'm educating people that organic still allows you over 56 chemicals to go in your product in parts per million, right? So what we did, we created parts per billion testing, which is your body functions parts per trillion and parts and goes on, but minimum you want to do parts per trillion. So we did parts per billion testing, and we're showing everyone like what the testing needs to be done on each of those bottles. You know, most companies don't want to do even testing at all, and if they do testing, the lab results are faked, or they do very minimum testing, or people say, "Oh, my product is lab tested." First of all, how long ago? Which batch? Is each bottle was tested, or like one time ever? Like you have to put so much effort and time to test these plants. So you have to grow them correctly. You have to nurture them correctly. You have to create this healthy biological soil with zero toxins. And then as a finished product, you have to prove the world that everything what you say is truth. So you have to provide these laboratory results that's supposed to be attached to each bottle that is actually sold on the market.
That's really intense focus, and your focus on providing the best quality that you can assure is good quality.
At the moment, I don't know anybody on the market who can match our lab results. I don't know anybody. If any company is out there, I would love to meet them. I would like to shake their hands and say thank you so much for doing an amazing work. and actually really care about the plant and giving this plant as a medicinal properties for a lot of people that can really, really serve themselves in the best way. Because what's happening right now, I just don't know how to overcome the challenge unless the regulations is going to come in.
So,
Absolutely.
so let us take a look just kind of briefly at what happens. So you start with quality soil, which you have found here in this country, or did you need to really create the soil, really cleanse it and give it
Created.
nourish? Create it, yes. Did you need to do
Big
that?
time created. It was like when I was really creating the soil, I was really looking in the history, the way Jesus was using also hemp plants. And these hemp plants, Jesus wasn't using CBD products. There was no such thing as CBD, right? So I was really trying to understand what the microbes we had in the soil, like what the soil looks like, what really happened those couple thousand years ago when this plant was used as a medicinal plant for almost every single condition I know. So I was really trying to match the soil from very long time ago to in today's environment, and it took us a little while to do it. But at the end of the day, we have results today, and nobody can deny that. So we're able to create a beautiful soil. Absolutely.
So that would be in the Middle East. You had to test that soil or get what?
No.
No,
That
no.
that is in the United States, and it's actually in Oregon.
Oh, in Oregon. Well, that's even close by to here, and that sounds like a whole other story. That sounds so fascinating, but not time that we have right now because I want to share for myself as well as our listeners. Then the product, the hemp oil that is created, and how that has created benefits. We know it was beneficial for your mother and in affecting her, curing her. Do we say curing of cancer? She's cancer free.
I can't say that I cured her cancer because that would be like a claim I would make, but she was given 6 months to live. And after we said no for radiation and chemotherapy, 4 months later, she was actually cancer-free. So I'm not saying that this product has answered your cancer. That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
I'm just saying that it can be helpful to use, improve, or feel better. And I just know that I created on the market what exactly the market was missing because I worked on each and top facilities and places and manufacturers, and I asked them to prove what's in those bottles and in the soil, in the plants, in the water systems, and I was completely devastated. So when I saw it's a need to really have someone that can represent this plant correctly, I jumped on the board to do that. And yes, of course, plant it has so many medicinal powers. Like I've seen people like improving inflammation is probably one of the top. And if you're going to look at an inflammation is actually it's a number one root of the cause, almost the one root of the cause for almost all disease that are there. So it's like an umbrella. All the disease goes under inflammation umbrella. So you start with inflammation and you keep developing, and those cells keep mutating, and you keep putting more toxins in your body, and eventually your body no longer can handle. And when your body no longer can handle, that's where the little problem comes up. And that you can actually be tested in the hospital, or the doctors can find as a specific disease. So what happens is you have to prevent yourself from getting there. And it seems like the hemp plant itself, the way we did, specifically, which is we created the first biological living plant on the market, it's been really thousands of people reporting results that I couldn't never even ask for. Like women, they really actually report for like menopause improvements, a lot of actually comfort for their menstrual periods, mental clarity, right? The gut issues, like a lot of people reporting gut issues improvements. I know product is itself beautiful, because we represented every single thing that's in the plant in a finished bottle.
So this is taken as an oil. I actually looked on your website. Oh, let's take a moment and mention the website where we can get lots of information.
Yeah, I think the best way is if you would go like at Nesas Hemp, which is Nesas, nesashemp.com. We have social media channels also. We have a live support and all kinds of other stuff. So Nesas Hemp would be the best place actually to purchase the product, or at least to look and read. We have so much information about us where you really will need to spend 10 minutes on the website, but we have testimonials. Everything is real about us, and we have nothing to hide. So I'm very proud to show the world that we're not afraid to share our lab results, to share our testimonials, our real reviews that's never been faked or purchased. So, yeah, we're a very, very authentic company that care about people and how to improve this world and to make it in a better place.
And we know that the world is in such great need of that. So we start by having each of us become as healthy as possible so then we can pass that health on to the world, right?
Yeah, that's actually one of my quotes that I say all the time when I do like some TV interviews or like radio interviews. Like, I always tell people you can't transform others unless you transform yourself. And like, I never going to forget this woman. She didn't know I'm working as a holistic coach and I customize all kinds of major protocols. But I never going to forget when I went actually, I think she was a chiropractic doctor, and she was extremely overweighted. And she was teaching me about nutrition, and I'm thinking, okay, like, you're the one who really need to learn everything what you're teaching me. You can't teach me unless you know what you're doing. And if you can't take care of your own body, how are you going to take care of the others? It's just like this theory when you go on the plane, you have to put the mask on yourself first that you can put later on your children or your husband. So it's the same thing. Like, you have to take care of yourself first, and then you can take care of the others. So that's one of the quotes I always say. You have to transform yourself if you want to transform others. So I definitely done this many times. So, I mean, very aware what the process looks like.
So I guess when I think about it, my point as I looked at the website was then to say, this is an oil which we put under our tongue, and the amount that is recommended, I guess, really depends on the degree of what we're dealing with, such as if it is cancer, whether it's anxiety, whether it is some say arthritic pain in our joints that's going on, is we would kind of try it as a couple of, or I think it said a half a stopper.
It's yes and no. Since it's a biological plant, and since your body is biological, this is not a pharmaceutical CBD product on the market that's going to do specific results because it's been made in lab for you to do and get these results, right? So this plant is completely alive and literally has a heartbeat in the bottle. So when you take the plant, I always tell people, if you don't see, or if you don't feel results within the first hour or the first day, that means you took the wrong dose. Because there is no such a way in the world that you're not going to experience results. Like, it's 100% success rate on anything. Anybody who purchases the product, it's always 100% success rate. And when I say success rate, I'm not talking about curing anything, but I'm talking about improving whatever you're looking to improve. And if you don't feel like you're improving your anxiety, or if you don't feel like you're improving your sleep or like your pain, that means you have to play with the dose. And it's some people, you would be surprised, even there's super, super severe conditions, but they need less. And some people are super severe conditions and they need more. So what I noticed working with all these people, and some of them really closely next to me in a clinic and in other spaces, so it really, keep realizing it must be on DNA related, because Europeans, for some reason, tend to really like the specific dose, not themselves, but the body. And again, it's my theory. It's no studies or research been done on that. But again, from my own data, what I'm seeing that you really have to try the dose and you have to experience the power of this plant. And if you, for some reason, don't, that means it's only one thing going wrong. It's the dose.
And so if someone perhaps is having a situation where they're not sensing it, that they should just increase the amount drop by drop until they feel this change, that they feel, say, less anxiety, or they're able to sleep through the night.
100%. And then I think increase, not to be afraid to increase even higher, because like this lady in my gym, she's about close to 70s, and she's shaking from anxiety because she has major trauma when she was a kid, and she carried that trauma for over 50 and change years. And for first time ever, I actually gave her a bottle, and I actually had to make sure she's taking the oil. So I asked her to open her mouth. She did. I put the dropper in, and I took the dropper, right, the full dropper, and I went upstairs to work out. And within 20 minutes, she was calling me and literally crying and saying, "What you just gave me, I don't understand, but I'm feeling the happiest person on the planet because my hand just stopped shaking." And until today, like, she calls me her angel because I supply her free products. This woman can't afford nothing. Like, she makes such a low money, so I'm trying to help her out. So I give her product every single month, and she just completely stopped. She's perfect now. She is good. She's happy. It's the underlying condition, and it's been there for over 50 years. I didn't give her 3 droppers. I didn't give her half. I gave her 1 full dropper, and 20 minutes later, she was calling me while I was upstairs working out. So, again, I see so many different stories, so it's very hard to tell. I just say never be afraid to keep increasing the dose if you need, for some reason, the way stronger dose.
And because this is a biologic, it's a natural product, it's not putting any kind of like a psychedelic or any kind of a narcotic into our body. This is natural, so it just responds to whatever our body is needing.
Exactly. And I think if anybody's still skeptical for some reason about this plant, I'm not saying that what's on the market, because I'm completely against smoking. I'm completely against high THCs. In very case of only, I would say, yes, we can use high THC. But, like, I'm really against what's going on the market in the cannabis industry. But when it comes to hemp plant itself, it's so beautiful and it's so powerful. And people really need to change their mentality around this plant. Why? Because this plant, especially our bottles, we don't have anything what's not part of your body. It's already in you. You're born with it. Like, you like this or you don't. Like, you already are reflecting this plant. You have that endocannabinoid system in your body, thousands of receptors that actually dying and probably waiting for you to put this product in your mouth so they can create a balance in your body. And I'm talking about all kinds of balances. Men, the improving sexual drive, and, the improving prostate. I mean, I just saw another super wild testimonial from one of the big CEOs in the country. And he's like, "I'm happy to share, just don't want to share my name because, his whole sexual life completely improved. Women, they improve all kinds of things too, skin, nails, vision, like you name it." So when you think about it, it really goes in your body and try to find the balance, whatever the balance that person needs. Whatever each person has different, I guess, losing the balance, right? So each person is a little bit different. So what you want to do is one experience for yourself, and it's nothing in it, especially in our products. I don't want to talk about other industry products because it's a lot of harmful things are in it, but there's nothing in it that actually is not part of you. And God created you this way, brought you on this universe, and you're already reflecting this plant.
Oh, that is beautiful, Inesa. So that's such a wealth of information, and our time is just so quickly wrapping up. So I think to wind up, we should just mention the website again, knowing that look on it on your social platforms as well. But the website is?
Nesas, Nesas, nesashemp.com. It's 2 words, but we combine in one, nesashemp.com.
Right. Well, Inesa, I am just so grateful that you had the vision and the desire to make such a difference in the world, and that you have been so focused on providing what is such an important health benefit for all of us on all levels. Thank you so much for, of course, that work, and thank you for enlightening us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me. God bless everyone.
That brings us to the end of a very full hour of Inspirational Women with Inesa Ponomariovaite and Sunday Morning Magazine with David Lischwager. I'm Kate Daniels, your host, and I greatly appreciate your sharing this hour with me and these special guests. For details you might have missed or information you'd like to know, please just send me an email, kated@warm1069.com, and I will get right back to you. Also, if you'd like to listen again or to share these important stories with your family and friends, find the podcast on our Warm 1069 webpage. Simply click on the podcast tab, then either of the show names, and then look for the guest names. I now wish you and your family a day of choosing how you will care for our planet home. Have a week the same, and then please plan to join me again next weekend for another hour of Sunday Morning Magazine and Inspirational Women on Warm 1069. Good morning.